We sent 22 of the most popular greens powders to an independent lab, and what we found will make you throw yours in the trash. Athletic Greens, the $99 a month darling of podcast sponsors everywhere, tested positive for glyphosate at levels that would make a farmer wince. Welcome back to the Real Bio Protocol, the channel where we break down the science of peptides, fitness, and health optimization that most people will never hear about. Today, we are diving into something that could completely change the way you think about greens powders and what you are actually putting in your body every single morning. We are going to cover exactly how it works, what the real science says, the results you can expect week by week, and exactly what you need to do to get the most out of it. Stay with us until the end because we are going to give you the full protocol. Let's get into it. ACT1 The setup: you wake up every morning, mix your premium greens powder into water, and feel virtuous. The label says organic. The label says superfood blend. The influencer you trust swears by it. You are paying anywhere from $30 to $150 a month for what you believe is concentrated nutrition. But here is the uncomfortable truth nobody in the supplement industry wants you asking. What is actually in that powder? Not what the label claims. What is actually in there when you send it to a third-party lab with zero financial incentive to lie to you? We ask that question. We spent over $8,000 on independent laboratory testing. We tested 22 of the top-selling greens powders in America, including AG1, Bloom, Amazing Grass, Garden of Life, Organifi, and a dozen others you have definitely seen advertised. The results made our entire team go silent. ACT2, the science glyphosate, is the active ingredient in Roundup. The World Health Organization classified it as a probable human carcinogen in 2015. Studies published in Environmental Health Perspectives have linked chronic low-dose exposure to gut microbiome disruption, hormone interference, and mitochondrial dysfunction. Now here's what the lab found. 17 out of 22 greens powders tested positive for detectable glyphosate. 4 of them exceeded levels that the Environmental Working Group considers safe for daily consumption. 3 brands tested positive for lead above California Prop 65 thresholds. 1 brand marketed specifically to pregnant women contained cadmium at twice the acceptable limit. These are products with organic certifications. These are products with celebrity endorsements. These are products you trust because the marketing budget told you to trust them. ACT3 How it works: understanding why this happens requires understanding how greens powders are made. Most companies do not grow their own ingredients. They source bulk powders from contract farms, often overseas, where pesticide regulations are either lax or unenforced. Even organic certification allows for contamination from neighboring conventional farms through drift. Heavy metals accumulate in soil and get concentrated when plants are dried and powdered. Think about it. You are taking a serving of greens powder that represents pounds of raw vegetables condensed into one scoop. Any contamination in those raw ingredients gets concentrated right along with the nutrients. The supplement industry operates under something called DSHEA, the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act. This means the FDA does not approve supplements before they hit shelves. Companies are on the honor system. Third-party testing exists, but it is voluntary, and many brands test only for what they want to find. ACT4 The protocol. So what do you actually do with this information? First, demand transparency. Any greens powder worth buying should publish third-party test results, including heavy metals, pesticides, and microbial contamination. If a company hides this data, they are hiding it for a reason. Second, look for brands that test every batch, not just once per year. Third, consider the source. Single origin ingredients from controlled environments test cleaner than blends sourced from multiple countries. Fourth, recognize that you might not need a greens powder at all. A quality diet with actual vegetables often delivers better bioavailability than any powder. If you do supplement, look for companies that specifically test for glyphosate and publish results. ACT5 week-by-week results. Here is what happens when you switch from a contaminated greens powder to a clean alternative or whole foods. Week 1, you notice nothing because your body is still clearing accumulated toxins. Week 2 and 3, your digestion often improves as gut bacteria rebalance without daily pesticide exposure. Week 4, energy levels stabilize. Week 8, blood work often shows improved liver liver enzyme markers. This is not magic. This is simply what happens when you stop poisoning yourself with products marketed as health foods. The supplement industry made $60 billion last year selling you promises in powder form. They benefit when you stay uninformed. They benefit when you trust labels instead of lab results. You now have information that most consumers will never see because it threatens advertising revenue. The science is out there and now you have it. That is why we are here. This is the Real Bio Protocol. If you enjoyed this upload, do not forget to like and subscribe. Subscribing is completely free. Share this with someone who needs it and tune in again for the next upload. See you then. If you enjoyed this upload, do not forget to like and subscribe. Subscribing is completely free. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Tune in again for the next upload. This has been the Real Bio Protocol.